The views expressed on the Jerry Cahill CF podcast are that of Jerry Cahill and guests, and not necessarily those of the Boomer Esiason Foundation. Nothing on the Jerry Cahill CF podcast should be considered medical advice. Such advice can only be given by a physician who is experienced with cystic fibrosis. The Boomer Esiason Foundation, Jerry Cahill and guests cannot be held responsible for any damage which may result from using the information on this podcast without the permission of your medical doctor. You're listening to the Jerry Cahill CF podcast presented by the Boomer Esiason Foundation and jerrycahill.com.
Welcome to Jerry Cahill's Living, Breathing, Succeeding podcast series. This show, The Salty Scholar, Given Back to Others with CF, was made possible through an unrestricted educational grant from Gilead to the Boomer Esiason Foundation. Today you will meet Griffin Taylor, 15 years old, from Warwick, Rhode Island, and a sophomore at Pilgrim High School. Griffin has a younger brother, Brett, and an older sister, Caroline. Griffin is a well-rounded individual that plays lacrosse, is on the robotics team, and is the class treasurer. He also has a dual enrollment at a local community college studying computer science. Griffin believes in giving back to the CF community by being the salty scholar and tutoring others with cystic fibrosis while at home and also in the hospital.
Hi, my name is Griffin Taylor, and I'm 15 years old and I live in Warwick, Rhode Island. I live with my sister, my brother, my mom, and my dad. I enjoy playing sports, as most teens do. I play squash, I used to play basketball, I play lacrosse, and I am also involved at my school. I am the class treasurer as well as part of the robotics team there. I enjoy studying in academics, which is the reason I started the Salty Scholar tutoring service as a way to give back to the CF community. I'm currently attending Pilgrim High School, and I do pretty well in school. My grades have been mostly A's in classes. And outside of school, I'm also enrolled in a program through my community college, a local one. I take classes for computer science there as well. I enjoy playing sports a lot. Moving around and staying healthy is important to clear my lungs. And I mostly play sports to push myself. I like to work hard. I'm a competitor. And sports like lacrosse and squash are very physical sports, so I enjoy playing those. The idea of a free tutoring service kind of came about during the pandemic. My mom is a special education teacher at the local middle school, and I saw firsthand of what she had to go through with some of her students when they hit virtual learning. And I could tell it was very difficult for her students to learn virtually, and it gave me the idea to start it. And in general, my parents have instilled in me good values and morals to give back to the community, so I just felt it was important to do good. I know that CF patients sometimes take long absences from school due to either medications or in the hospitals, and so I realized that I could give back to the community by helping them learn virtually. I wanted to come up with a unique name for the Salty Scholar, and so the significance behind the name is that, first of all, we live in the ocean state, Rhode Island, hence the name Salty, and it's also known that salt water tends to clear out the lungs for CF kids, and I just thought Salty Scholar would be a cool name to incorporate CF into it. To get my clients, I've set up Facebook and Instagram profiles for the Salty Scholar, and usually either the kids or the parents will reach out to me through direct message or anything out to book sessions. As the Salty Scholar, the services I provide, it's very general. Anything from homework help to study reviews to test reviews, and even for younger children, I've read books and just help them read. Anywhere from kindergarten to grade school to middle school and first years of high school I can help with. Peer tutoring is important, especially with distance learning, but not only that, there's social benefits to it. Not only am I teaching them, but they can talk to someone. I know a lot of people with cystic fibrosis who are in the hospital. It can get lonely at times. Even distance learning in general can get lonely, and you can be alone sometimes. So peer tutoring is a good way to reach out and talk to people as well as help with academics. The overall mission of the Salty Scholar is really to help as many people as possible. Even after the pandemic ends, virtual learning is still going to be important for these people who are sometimes out of school or can't learn certain topics in general. And it's just important that all of these kids are able to learn freely without any restrictions, and I want to help with that. My plans for extending the Salty Scholar is currently I'm in the process of talking to local hospitals such as Boston Children's Hospital, which I attend annually for checkups, as well as here in Providence, Hasbro Children's Hospital. I know a couple of doctors and workers there, as well as some peers that go to these hospitals that I've reached out to and been in touch with them about hopefully extending my program to these hospitals for kids that are actually in these hospitals. The Salty Scholar has made an impact on my life just because I've always wanted to do something good for not just the CF community, but just to do good. And I realize now that the impact it's had on me is seeing people who just aren't as fortunate as me. And I just realized that it's important to give back to those who don't get the same opportunity as you. And in general, when I see other kids, their smiles, when they get to finally reach out to someone, just talk to them, it makes me feel good. I'm proud of my work.
We hope you enjoyed the CF podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on the Boomer Esiason Foundation's YouTube channel so we can keep you up to date on our latest educational programs for the cystic fibrosis community.